What's up? I'm back, guys. Can you hear me okay? Let me know. Let me know how I sound. Because it's a brand new system all the way around. I need some feedback. I think everything sounds okay. Okay. So, that was a fun little song and dance the last week or so. As you know, my computer died basically midstream on Mother's Day, which is crazy to think that all of you guys literally saw the breakdown in real time. And I, like an idiot, you kind of just default now, at least I do, that every single thing that you buy needs to come from Amazon, right? Because that's like ingrained in our minds. So I ordered a new computer from Amazon, and it kept getting delayed, and then it got delayed again, and then it got delayed again, and then it got delayed again. And then I thought, why don't I just go down to the local Best Buy and buy a computer? I can pick it up in store and bring it home. So that's what I did. And now we're all set up. And I shouldn't have any issues on this one. And we should be going back to our streams as usual, right? Get your guys' questions in. I'm going to get to them in a minute. Bullet, welcome in. Nate, welcome in. Abel, Beck, welcome in. Although my subscribers too have been dropping like flies when you don't make videos. So I don't know how many people we're actually going to get in this stream, but we're going to build everything back. Not that I lost a massive amount of subscribers, but, you know, apparently people like to see videos every day, and if you don't make a video every single day, some people just hit that unsubscribe button. How are you guys feeling? It's Memorial Day, right? In the U.S.? Abel, welcome in. Throwaway, Nate. So during the week that I was gone, the market was actually pretty crazy because we went up a lot and then we went down a lot, basically. Bitcoin's basically the only one moving, really, because we're just in the Bitcoin part of the cycle, guys. I'm going to reiterate again that until monetary policy changes, we are probably not going to see an altcoin season. And on that note, I'm going to bring up a website because we all were thinking that monetary policy was going to change. They were going to start cutting rates in June, which I think was previously predicted at some point. But that has changed. And the odds for a rate change now have moved. And I apologize. I know the weather's really bad in my background, and there is some flashes of lightning. So if anybody has issues with seizures and that's a problem, let me know because I can change that. Last thing I want to do is give somebody a seizure live on screen. So yeah, right. Riley, Jerry Banfield took my subscribers. Oh, by the way, before I get into this CME stuff, there was a lot of people that I guess took me seriously in my last video that I made, stating that the KASPA and Jerry Banfield bots were out to get me, and they basically sabotaged my computer. That was obviously a joke. I know Jerry Banfield doesn't even know who I am. There's no KASPA hating bots out there trying to stop me. So that was a joke. It was supposed to be funny. My computer was just old and it died, so that's literally the extent of what happened. But it was just a funny scenario, I guess you could say, that we were blaming Jerry Banfield for it. So yeah, let me pull up this website real quick. Sorry, I'm trying to get used to all this new stuff. We have the CME odds now where we're not getting a rate cut until September. Okay? So June, 95% chance we're staying where we're at. July, 75% chance we're staying where we're at. October is the first month where we've just got barely higher odds that they might cut rates. So it looks like we're pretending, unless something breaks in the meantime, October would be the soonest. I'm sorry. I take that back. September would be the soonest. And then they plan potentially to cut rates again in October. And that pretty much... this is pretty much telling us when alt season's going to start, right? And this isn't till quarter 4 of this year. And 2017, the same exact thing happened. I'm going to do a detailed video on this week now that everything's up and running. But if we compare the 2016-17 bull run to this bull run, there is some differences, but everything's kind of lining up the exact same way. So it is eerily similar. And the crazy part about it all is that the President of the United States was the same back then as it is right now. And so it's very interesting to compare the two. So I'm not going to get into too much detail about it right now, but be on the lookout for that video coming this week where we're comparing both cycles. And what that's going to mean is we're basically probably not going to get an alt season started until Q4, and it's going to be very quick, very powerful, but very quick, short, and sharp. So we got to be on our toes. Is what it's looking like right now. Obviously, that can change. And I will be monitoring that, obviously, as we go along. Just to make sure. There's a lot of things that have happened with KASPA, though, in the last week or so. Did you guys see the new developer that was once a hacker and then went and worked for IOTA for a very long time? And IOTA was one of the very first crypto projects ever in the space, way back in the day. And I don't know why he left that project, whether he got fired, whether it was bow out by himself, or what the issue was or situation was. But he is a very bright mind, and he is now working with KASPA, and he says it's because he believes, based on the tech and everything that he's done researching, he's been in the space for a long time, that this is the future, he thinks, of crypto. And we all think the same thing, which is why we invest in KASPA and talk about it on a daily basis. But his name, right, is Hans Moog. This guy right here. You guys should go give him a follow. He's got some stuff in here, talking about why he decided to come work with KASPA and what he thinks about it. So go give him a follow. He's a very interesting character and has been in space for a very, very, very long time. So highly recommend. So let's move on to some comments here. I also have a video. I'm just plugging all these videos that I'm going to put out this week because it's been way too long. But I think I have an idea of when Bitcoin's going to top out this cycle based on some metrics that are playing out and have happened in the past. So I'm going to have that video out this week as well. That doesn't necessarily mean the altcoins will top out then, but Bitcoin, I think, is going to top out around this certain date, within a few days of it. And we'll get that. So be on the lookout for that video as well. Blue, guess who's back, yeah? I should be back for good now. Because the brand new computer works flawlessly so far. So, how do you guys like the new background, too? Is it too bland? Is it too dark? Is it too flashy in the background? Let me know. Because I normally do my live streams at the bar, right? But we're not heathens here, and we save the bar for Fridays. We cannot be in the bar every day of the week. So at some point, I've got to be in different areas. Maybe some of you enjoy the bar every day, but I can't do it. So throwaway. So much FUD about CAS lately. Yeah, I mean, there has been for a little while now. The thing is, though, like the amount of stuff that's coming on the horizon is far more than any other cryptocurrency out there. We have smart contracts coming out this summer, probably in the next month or two, as well as tier 1 listings, which I still imagine are right around the corner and will come about once market conditions change. That will propel the price up. And then as far as, I mean, those two things alone should be enough to, pretty much lift us off into space as far as price goes this bull run. We just want to see action, right? And users come over to KASPA. And I think that's going to happen in time because as soon as people find out, it's literally the best of all worlds in crypto, okay? I don't need to name them again, but literally the best of all worlds. There's not really any negatives when it comes down to it. And you guys see that Sui got hacked. And Sui is actually my second biggest bag this bull run. I'm not worried about the price of it at all. It's going to completely do a Solana run still. But it was one of their dexes. And they gave the money back, which you can argue is a good thing or a bad thing. But in crypto, it's one of those very touchy subjects of a centralized entity being able to pull back funds from somebody who lost their money. You can argue it's a good thing because they get their money back, but it really is not decentralized in that matter because of that. So, but that being said, I have no doubts that Sui's still going to perform very well this bull run. So I did not sell any of it. Oh man, I can't even see the whole comment here. We're going to have to expand this out. I guess I can't. So we'll put partial comment up. No big deal. I'm so glad the KASPA isn't at 20 cents. More time to buy. Yeah. Yep. I mean, when it's all said and done, we're going to perform well this cycle. I don't think there's any questions about that. And so the more times you can purchase more KASPA around the 10 cent range, or even under, the better. Oh, man. All the comments are getting cut off. I got to fix that, but I can't do it live, real time. Jerry Banfield took your subscribers. Did you hear about the new developer, Hans Moog? Moving over to KASPA, yep. Obviously, I read your comment after I just explained who he was and why he's here. So, yes, I have heard. And I think that is extremely bullish for KASPA, actually, because he's been around for a while. Lexi, maybe CG has crazy price prediction, but he got me into KASPA and right for calling top November 2025. Well, we're not even to November of 2025 right now, so we don't know if he was right for calling the top November 2025 because we haven't made it that far. Although usually the tops do happen in November, roughly, and so it's probably a pretty good call, but we don't know yet. And CG, he does have some crazy price predictions, although I hope he's right, because that means I am going to be loaded for life, and a lot of us are, if his price predictions come true. I think they're a little bit too moon boyish, but for my liking, I like to be a little bit more sandbagged when it comes to price predictions. But again, we're not going to know until the end of the cycle comes whether we're going to get that high or we're not going to get that high, right? It's just it's a waiting game. So when we get to November of 2025 and KASPA is either at $1 or it's at $10, we'll know. But until then, we're just guessing. Stella. Igra's Pavel mentioned they already have 50 developers. That's pretty good, actually. It's as soon as KASPA, as soon as Igra Labs is live and people can start developing, I think it's going to explode. Because if that's the case, that they already have 50 developers, I'm sure there's more in the wings, and there is going to be a lot going on real fast, I think, because you've even got like KASPA KII in the background already. They have a timeline of what they are already working on behind the scenes. So once everything's live, you're just going to see, these dominoes start falling. And I think it's going to get real crazy real fast. Party. Party needs and accessories, I guess. Um, Hi, Cat Daddy. Let's. LFG. Is 10K cash good to keep till 2030? I mean, yeah, it's hard to say, though, because everybody's financial situation's different. Um, but yeah, if that's like a certain percentage that you feel comfortable holding through the bear market, then that's perfect, yeah. Um, but like I tell everybody, I would highly recommend taking some profits, because then if God forbid something happens, crypto space is crazy, technology moves, fast as electricity, something could happen, and if you don't take profits and something did happen, you're going to be kicking yourself. So like what I'm doing is I'm going to take a lot of profits, but I'm also keeping a percentage to hold just in case KASPA turns into something that's worth holding for years and years and years to come. Sugar Lump, the background is fire. Awesome. I'm glad that you like it. MSK, $1 is fair at least. Yeah. I think $1 is going to be achieved this cycle. It's just a matter of how much above $1, and I think tier 1 exchanges are going to have a lot to do with that, because the accessibility, like a Coinbase or a Binance, of them being able to buy it easily on their exchanges, the normies that come in, it's going to do wonders for the price, because it's going to be more accessible. A lot of normie people that come in aren't going to want to go into like Mexi and create a profile with a second email address and use a VPN and all that kind of stuff. They're just going to want to buy the coin easily. So that's why tier 1 exchanges are a huge deal. But like I said, I think they're coming, so long journey. Not surprised about alt season being late. Yeah, it seems like it's never going to come, because last cycle things kind of monetary policy changed early. It changed in 2020. I think early 2020 or mid 2020 when things really started to change, and it was kind of because of COVID, and they had to print money right after that, because that was, some big old global thing that everybody was afraid of and has never seen before in our lifetime. And so monetary policy changed on a dime, and things ran up through 2020 and 2021. Whereas this cycle, monetary policy is staying tight for a lot longer. I mean, we're already in post-halving year, and we're already in quarter 2. And so it seems like we're running out of time, but you just got to remember that things can happen very quickly. And we're going to blink one day, and monetary policy is going to change. Altcoins are going to have bottomed, and we're just going to see double-digit green candles every day for a couple months, probably, if I were to guess. And that's going to probably be like right at the end of the cycle. Unless something breaks beforehand, we might see it a little bit earlier, but it looks like September now, maybe October, where we're going to see the change. So We just got to be patient. I know it's like beating a dead horse, but patience is key. Wolfie gave an update on listings. Says 2 tier 1s waiting for better marketing conditions. Exactly what I've been saying for months now. So that is actually good to know because Wolfie is in the know, right? More so than I am. I'm just going off of logic when it comes to them wanting to wait until market conditions change because that makes the most sense for them and their business, right? But hearing Wolfie say it, that is actually reassuring and actually pretty good news. Long journey. I think it's going to be a battle reaching $1.50 when it's all said and done. We'll see. You know, if we have a big altcoin season, you know, it's going to be short, but if we have a big altcoin season, then we should reach that fairly easily, but we just have to watch and see it play out. I know right now it seems like, you know, you're scratching and clawing and grasping at straws to try to move altcoins at all. But that's going to change at some point. And then the floodgates are going to open, and it's going to seem like the altcoins will never go down in value, and they will. So things just switch on a dime, and then it's hard to believe the opposite can actually happen. And right now we're in the period of time where it seems like no matter what happens, nothing is going to move, except for Bitcoin. Crypto Pumps, my man. Welcome in. Welcome back. New laptop or get it fixed. The bots in the comments are out of control on all videos now. Yes. Yeah, they were actually getting out of control like a couple days before I went down. But I got a whole new computer. I tried to get it fixed at first, and it just wasn't happening. The operating system on the hard drive was all messed up, and I just decided I might as well get everything brand new and upgrade everything rather than try and put duct tape and Band-Aids over an old computer that it was already fully out of memory, and, you know, let's just upgrade everything. So this bad boy should be working for a while, with any luck at all. Also, guys, make sure you go subscribe to Crypto Pump's channel because he does a lot of good work and he very in depth about a lot of things in the KASPA ecosystem. So if you like KASPA and you don't know who Crypto Pumps is, now you do. Go subscribe. We got 73 viewers right now, which is actually decent for my live streams since I haven't been doing them very long. And I appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out. I didn't know how many people I was actually going to get in here because I had been gone for so long. But it seems like people are coming back, and I appreciate it. King, being a KASPA maxi is tough. Yeah, what's funny, though, it goes through phases because it was not tough back in 2022, 2023 when it was outperforming all the market. It seemed like the easiest move in the history of crypto. And now 2024 and 2025 have been tough. All the FUD came in, the price stopped moving, and it just has to reset itself because it outperformed. It's going to go sideways for a while, reset itself, and then we can go back up again. But I don't think it's going to go back up until the rest of the altcoins do. So, yeah, it depends on when you came in, but I was in KASPA in 2022, and it seemed like KASPA was the only project moving in the market during the bear market. And so it seemed like the easiest move ever just to buy KASPA. And now it seems hard. because we haven't moved in a while. Mr. Miles, never caught one of your lives. Hey, everyone. Welcome. I'm glad you were able to catch this one. Probably because it's a different time frame than normal, I would imagine. I wonder how many others here I will know. I have no idea. If you're in the community, maybe you know some other people here. I'm thinking 28 cents, but of course $1 would be good. The tech is great, but nobody cares about any of that, to be honest. So you're partially right here. Crypto's weird because a lot of it's about hype and marketing. Okay? Which is why I diversify into other projects. Because you can make a lot of money elsewhere with hype and marketing, right? Projects like, I'm going to mention it again, Sui, okay? It seems to be the one the VCs have chosen for this cycle, just like Solana was last cycle. And I'm not going to miss the boat on that because I'm so laser focused on one project. Although KASPA is 50% of my portfolio, and I believe in it for the long run, I don't want to go 100% into it and miss out on the potential gains elsewhere in the market, because a lot of people don't care about the tech. People are here to make money, and that's all they care about. And that's fine. But you've got to know that, and you've got to be able to kind of get your fingers in different aspects of the crypto market so that you can take advantage of hype and marketing VC centralized projects, as well as the best tech that's ever came into the crypto space since Bitcoin and Ethereum, which we're looking at right now is KASPA. And a project like that could be a little bit slower when it comes to growth because of that, but we'll see. But that's why I urge people to diversify a little bit. Have some really good decentralized, no VC backed projects, right? Fairly launched like KASPA, but also dabble in the VC projects a little bit, because you can make a lot of money just by them. You know, the VCs want to make their money, and so if you follow them, you're going to make some money as long as you buy and sell at the right times. That's the big issue. Which, by the way, I am on the verge of launching a Discord and a VIP group. It's going to be very little money a month, but that is going to be the main focus in the bear market. Is we're going to find the next Sui. We're going to find. I don't think we're going to find the next KASPA this next bear market, because the next KASPA won't come around for a very long time. But I bought Sui at 40 cents. I bought Solana at $8. Those are the type of projects that we're going to find the next ones in the bear market, in that group, as well as, buy and sell alerts, and you can see everything I'm doing, one-on-one type conversations. I can look over your portfolio and give you advice if you want it, as well as just a cool hangout spot for KASPA enthusiasts to talk and help each other. And there will also be a lot of good in-depth info to help everybody out as far as reading material and stuff like that as well, if you're not sure about some things. So that is on the verge of happening. But the main focus is I want to make money. The bear markets are fun because once you've taken profits in the bull cycle, you have some money to work with in the bear market, and finding those diamonds in the roughs are what's fun for me. And that's what really gets me excited, because you know the potential of the amount of money you're going to make in a couple years once the next bull cycle comes around. So that's what we're going to be doing in the bear market come 2026. Cast reminds me of the Dreamcast from way back when Sega invented it online gameplay, but they got no credit at all. Sui and Soul janky, but will dominate. So, it's funny you say that. The Dreamcast might have been my favorite gaming system ever. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. And the controllers reminded me of the Nintendo 64 controllers a little bit. Some of the games replicated some of the OG Nintendo 64 games, and I loved that system. And I lost it at some point because I had one. But you're right when it comes to Sui and Soul. They're centralized, but like I said, the VCs are going to back them, and they're going to run the price up. You saw what Solana did last cycle. It went from, a few cents, I believe. I don't remember what the exact bottom was, but I believe it was under $1, and it went all the way up to $250. So that is massive gains for a VC-run project. And if Sui does the same thing this cycle, then I have no, no emotional ties to Sui at all. I'm dumping it all at the top of the cycle, but I'm going to ride the wave with the VCs, and I think that's a smart thing to do a lot of the time. You just have to pick the right VC projects and not, what was that one, that Mantra that just rugged? I don't see Sui rugging at all. The price barely changed when they just got hacked. It's just like Solana. They pause their blockchain all the time because they can't keep up with some of the movement that's going on there sometimes, or somebody gets hacked and they pause it to try and get the funds back, and nobody seems to care, right? The price just keeps going up. So it's good to have a little bit of both, in my opinion. Miss Kelling, 28 cents is bearish. Yeah, I don't think I mentioned that back then. 28 cents is very bearish because that's just barely passing the previous all-time high. I think we go to at least $1. I want to see KASPA's network active like Solana because it's starting to look like HBAR 2.0. Yeah, but the smart contracts aren't even out yet, so you can't really compare it. HBAR's had smart contracts out forever, and there's still no use on it. So once we launch smart contracts, which is coming this summer, then we want to start monitoring the users and the growth, right, and the developer activity at that point, once we have some data, and see if things keep growing, which is another thing I want to do during the bear market as well, is to see if KASPA is still growing, right, and there's still users using KASPA in the bear market. But that's going to be huge for, the outcome of what KASPA turns into. It's going to need users, because I don't think it's going to necessarily be able to survive without users like Bitcoin does, where it's just a store of value. It might be able to, and it might end up being something like, Tron, where it's just a stablecoin facilitator back and forth, which can also be very lucrative. So it has a bunch of options of what it can potentially, find its niche in. And it's going to be interesting in time to see where the users flock to and what it ends up, what its niche ends up being when it's all said and done. And hopefully, it finds a niche in multiple different aspects, and it just becomes the king of all kings. Mr. Miles coming over from Quick Crypto. Is Mr. Miles, are you a YouTuber? Why have I not heard of you if you are? Let me know. Or somebody else let me know who he is. Maybe I'll have to go and find him on the socials if that's the case. Let's see. Long Journey. I heard XRP got hacked. It might have. I didn't hear anything. I would imagine that would be massive news if it did. But it wouldn't surprise me. They would just give the money back anyways. Are the smart contract news for summer legit? From what I hear, they are. Hopefully they don't get delayed, but they're supposed to be live this summer. Within like a month or two. So let's see. Let's see what happens. But there's a bunch of projects already building behind the scenes. And so once it goes live, there's going to be a bunch of projects already ready to... everything's just going to like launch at once. And it's going to be fun because there's going to be a lot of activity, I think. Cardano introduced smart contracts September 12, 2021, and the top for the last bull run was November. Yeah. Did they launch them last? I thought they launched them in the bear market in 22. Maybe I'm wrong. If they did, though, then yeah, they launched them right before the peak, and they went from, what, 10 cents to $3? Easily. Given they were on tier 1 exchanges at that point, so that might have helped. Okay, so Kings, you got in at 20 cents. I was skeptical for a long time, so I thought it was a scam coin. So that's probably why you're having a harder time than those of us who got in a lot earlier, is because you're at a loss right now. I would just, again, beating a dead horse, you just got to be patient, man. Things will turn around. And it's definitely not a scam. And it's interesting that people think it's a scam coin because they don't actually dive deep onto who is behind the project, right? Jonathan Sampolinsky is one of the most respected people in the entire space. And it's not even close. He's been around and he helped Bitcoin security way back in the day. Like literally early. He helped Bitcoin security protocol and probably helped with some other things. Like he helped pretty much launch Bitcoin out of the shadows in 2010 or whatever year it launched, somewhere around there. And that is one of the reasons why a lot of people think that he is potentially Satoshi or part of the group called Satoshi. And that is the one thing. Jonathan Sampolinsky is not going to create a scam project in this space. That's not who he is. That's not what he's going to do. I feel 100% secure in the fact that he knows what he's doing, he's been around, and he has just created at least for a very long time, the end-all be-all crypto project. And it's a matter of time until people actually realize that and figure that out. Some of us already have, right? But some of us, a lot of people haven't yet. And, Bitcoin overnight was not, I'm not comparing it apples to apples, but I'm saying Bitcoin overnight was thought of as a scam for years, right? Until it wasn't. And there's still people that consider Bitcoin a scam because they don't understand it. A lot of people don't understand KASPA yet. once they understand who is behind it, where he came from, and what he's actually created, and it's not just him, there's other developers like Michael Sutton and a few others, core developers, but they have created something that was said to be impossible in this space with a proof of work mechanism, right? Because if you scale proof of work, you lose security, so you can't scale it. They have figured out how to increase security as well as increasing scalability on a proof of work consensus, which was thought to be impossible up until now. And people are still saying it's a scam because they don't understand it. And the ones that are capable mentally of understanding it this early are the ones that are going to profit. Just like I'm going to bring up Bitcoin again, because the people who invested in Bitcoin super early, when everybody told them they were idiots and it was a scam, are now the ones laughing and filthy rich, right? And so the one thing, if there is a one thing that basically makes me know 100% that KASPA is not a scam and that it is the future of crypto, is Jonathan Sampolinski being the one behind this project. If you guys don't know who he is, look him up. Look up his past, look where he started, look what he did for Bitcoin, and now look what he's doing for KASPA, right? Bitcoin can't scale, KASPA can scale. The fundamentals and the tokenomics are very similar, but now we can scale it. It's that simple. So do yourselves a favor and just go look at Jonathan Sampolinski, where he came from, and what he has done for the space since 2010. It's pretty remarkable, and he's been around. Every single project, basically, in the space has mentioned Jonathan Sampolinski and Aviv. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Aviv Yohar or something like that. Zohar. They together invented the Ghost Protocol, which is what KASPA's DAG is based on and why it can scale. And other projects have implemented portions of this Ghost Protocol into their projects and have mentioned Jonathan and Zohar by name in conferences over the years. Right? ICP. I'm not even going to list them all, but there's like at least 5 or 6 projects that I've seen being listed or being talked about by their founders, crediting Zohar and Jonathan for what they have done and what they are working on. So it's not just a fly-by-night group they have working behind the scenes there. It is a legitimate team and a legitimate project. And I cannot stress that enough. Brad Pitt. That's a good name, actually. I like that. CAS peaks at 45 to 60 cents this cycle. Let's revisit that. January 2026. And we'll see who's right. Oh, Brad. Did you rebrand yourself? Is this infamous rebranded as Brad Pitt? Sol 1000, Sui 300, CAS 40 cents. No. CAS is going higher than 40 cents this cycle. If Sui if Sui goes to 300 and Sol goes to 1,000, Cass is not staying at 40 cents. That's a 4x from where it is right now. Yeah, hold on. Where is this comment that I just lost? Oh, man. Way down there. There it is. Bread. Where did that comment go? I'll join the group for sure. I appreciate that, Kings. I just lost a comment that I was going to read that I liked. Oh, here it is. But first of all, let's get through this one. Smart contract's not going to bring pump.fun type transaction fees to KASPA. Yeah, unless they create a pump.fun similar type scenario over on KASPA, and meme coins start pumping out of there. It could easily be the same thing. It's just a matter of what they do. Long Journey. Can you give your top coins? I've been holding CAS for 3 years. Portfolio is 99.6% KASPA. So my top coins this cycle, which I identified deep in the bear market, some a little bit later on, because new coins pop up as we go through. But I located Sui before it even launched. And I actually was waiting for it to launch. It launched at about $1, and I bought some at $1 when it first launched. And then it took a correction down to 40 cents, and I bought a ton of it at 40 cents, roughly. So that one I identified before it even launched. That is my second. So KASPA's number 1, Sui's number 2, and Solana is actually my number 3 in my portfolio right now. Solana is only that high this cycle. I still think it's going to do very well, but I bought so much of it at like between $8 and $20 in the depths of the bear market when everybody said it was dead. And you can see the on-chain metrics kept growing. It was not dead at all, but all the media was telling us it was dead, and the on-chain metrics told a different story. And so I loaded up on Solana in the bear market, and that was one of my best buys I've ever, done. And I've even sold some of it for KASPA at this point, and it's still my third largest holding because I just had so much of it. But those are the type of things that I love doing in the bear market, is identifying, the next best thing. I still have a few other projects that I am banking on this cycle to perform, and I'll give you a couple of them once I pull up my thing here. So minus any meme coins, we're not going to get into meme coins. I have probably 4 of them in my portfolio. But as far as utility projects go, my other 2 that I have a big conviction in, they're not huge parts of my portfolio, but I have, a small percentage of them, are Zeus Network, which is basically allowing Bitcoin to come over to Solana. It's a Solana-based coin, and it's allowing Bitcoin utility to be moved over to Solana for faster fees, or faster scalability and cheaper fees. So that's one that I think is going to do very well because it's got a Bitcoin narrative and a Solana narrative to it for this cycle. as well as Peak, PEAQ, which is a real-world asset layer 1 blockchain that already has a ton of projects building on it. Like those real-world type stuff like Helium and Honey token, where you could put like the dash cams in your car and you get tokens for, GPSing stuff. A bunch of real-world... there might be another name for that sector, but it is technically a real-world asset sector. But it's a layer 1, and layer 1s and meme coins typically do the best during bull cycles. So that's an undervalued layer 1 project, in my opinion, that has had a pretty sharp correction and is in a good buy zone right now. At some point, it's going to pop because it has not popped yet. The Peak project. So those are kind of the projects that I have sitting in my portfolio, at least some of them. And then there's some meme coins, and there's a couple other stragglers from basically last cycle that I don't know why I'm still sitting on. I should probably sell them for more of my high conviction projects this cycle, but I just haven't done that yet. They're very low percentages and low dollar amounts, so it's almost not even worth it. I'm pretty sure Infamous rebranded as Bread Pit. I need the all-time high to exit. I still love your channel though. I'll try and save you all over time. Oh, so you're going to exit back at 20 cents again? Hey, that's your prerogative, man. You can do whatever you want to do. If you lose conviction in something, then yeah, go ahead and sell it. I'm not here to try and force you to buy or hold on to anything. I give you my my input, but that's all I can do. Mr. Miles, everyone remember, CAS has achieved what it has without a top-tier exchange. We may be hitting a wall without them, but it's still done amazingly well without them. Yeah, it's up, thousands and thousands of percents from its bottom. It's just, it's frustrating for the people who got in at that local top, between 18 and 20 cents. That is frustrating, which is understandable. But selling at a loss is also not a great idea either. So it's hard to hold sometimes, but it's beneficial. Because you keep trying to trade out of things. You buy something at a local top and trade out of it at the local bottom, and you're just constantly playing catch up and losing money. Okay, so Mr. Miles is not a YouTuber, but hangs out in one of the main KASPA YouTube channels. Okay. Corey Bagnall, collab with Crypto Galaxy? I don't think Crypto Galaxy would even respond to me if I messaged him. If you guys spam that in his chat, he probably doesn't even know who I am. Let me know. Have you guys even asked him? I'm not that big of a YouTuber, so let me know if he even knows who I am. If he's ever mentioned me. Because I don't really... I watched him before. I don't really watch him that much anymore. On occasion, I still will. I would do a collab with him though if he wanted to, but I doubt he would. I'm small fish. At least for now. Okay, so Cardano did launch smart contracts on September 12th, 2021. So yeah, what? So I guess yeah, that's right before the market peaked. Well, 2 months before. Do you think KASPA without exchange listings can pump? Yes. And I say that because it, just like Mr. Miles mentioned a couple comments ago, that it's already done that. And yeah, it's hit a wall as of this point. But I think the amount of gains it can do is going to rely on tier one exchanges because it's just accessibility for newbies who come into the market. It'll still pump without them, but it won't pump as far and as high. Bought the top and is mad. LMAO. Be patient. Yeah. Yeah, anyone who. I'm assuming you're talking about Brad Pitt up there. Abel, how long is too long once initial profits is taken out of cash to hang on to? I don't know that I understand that question. Are you talking about how long to hang on to your profits in stable coins, or how long to hang on to the KASPA that you're potentially going to hold on to long term? If it's for your stables, I think it's like 16 months usually after the top of the market where we hit the bottom of the bear market. Don't quote me on that exact number, but I think that's roughly what it is. Um, and that's when I would start deploying those profits if you're going to reinvest. Um, I hope that answers your question because I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, this is a good point again, Mr. Miles here. Binance has been ready to list KASPA since last year, according to Wolfie from the CAS team, but for some unknown reason they haven't. It's market conditions, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, we know Binance. They if anybody knows this, have they ever listed futures on any project and then not listed at spot? From my knowledge, I think that every single one they list futures, they list spot eventually. But we're not in a good monetary policy environment right now. And if they list it, then you might get a little pump, but it's just going to trend sideways and back down again with the rest of the market. And it's not going to get them the return on investment quickly like they want. So it makes 100% sense logically for a business like an exchange to wait until market conditions and monetary policy turns around. At least that's what my logical brain thinks. I know all about it, but all the respect and talent got ADA, for example, nowhere. Well, I mean, they had a big pump in price. I would agree that their community is not very vibrant. It's kind of boring. But, like, they still pumped and had a great bull cycle last cycle. Yeah, and Coinbase it has also listed futures. Um, yeah, and another good point, Mr. Miles. Sorry, you guys, my comments aren't reading fully on the screen. I'll have that fixed by Friday. Um, but Coinbase is also connected, to Mara through BlackRock. BlackRock controls major share in both companies. So yeah, um, there's connections for sure. And I would be shocked if Coinbase and Binance did not list KASPA this cycle. Kings. Also, the comparisons with BTC, nobody knows Satoshi, the creator of KASPA, talks too much, and the timing was off. The comparisons don't track. I'm talking about like fundamental comparisons, not when it launched, but also Yonatan Sampolinski does not talk that much. You might be thinking of like, why can't I think of his name? Oh, it's embarrassing. I can't even think of his name right now. Nacho's owner. He talked a lot. But he was just like working with the project. He wasn't actually like developing on it. Dreaming Codes is also pissed off. Casper, though, yeah, I would agree. Casper is not shit, but KASPA is. You don't even know how to spell the project that you're talking about. So clearly, you're just mad for no reason. Is this a true skyline behind you or AI screen? This is where I live, guys. This is the real deal, Holyfield. No, I'm just kidding. It's a green screen. But that'd be cool if I actually lived in this type of environment. Mr. Miles, Cat Daddy, you're not that big of a YouTuber, it's true, but you pop up very often on KASPA feeds. A lot of us in the KASPA community know who you are. Well, I appreciate that. And somebody says, Kings, that Crypto Galaxy will talk to you because you like KASPA. I don't think that's the buy-in to get on stream with him. At this point, he's got his own thing going, and I doubt that he wants to do any sort of collaboration with somebody who's a lot smaller than him. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, Peak has a lot of listings. Come to the dark side, Sui. Come on, man. I already told you. I am heavily invested in Sui right now. It's my second biggest holding. So, I have come to the dark side a long time ago. Like I said, I was researching and knew about Sui before it even launched. And waiting for it to launch. And then I bought it. All right. I think we're going to stop on this question here. Jesse AI are the bears right now for KASPA this cycle. I don't think he's not a bear for KASPA this whole cycle. He's a bear right now because monetary policy hasn't changed. And he's correct, actually, because altcoins will probably go back down to their lows, their bottoms that they go to on the Bitcoin pair. Before we go up again. Sorry, I'm trying to read comments and talk at the same time. And so I think there's a possibility we get another drop in the altcoins. That doesn't necessarily mean that KASPA has to drop a lot, but the altcoin market cumulatively should have another leg down, and it's usually right before rates start getting cut and quantitative tightening stops. And so there's a chance that happens again, and I think that's what Jesse's talking about, because he follows every single monetary policy date with the Fed, and that's what he's basing everything on, and he's been right a lot. So KASPA's not going to zero this cycle, and Jesse AI is not saying that, unless I missed a recent video of today where he's actually saying that. He deletes videos when his price predictions are wrong. That's actually funny. I don't go down the rabbit hole with these guys enough to even know that, but oh, Jesse AI is actually in the chat. Is that the real Jesse AI? Welcome in, my dude. Welcome in. Luxury high rises. Are you utopic? I think you spelt that wrong. Nothing beats having coffee downstairs with the hedge fund managers before the markets open. Yeah, well, Jesse in the chat is saying he does not delete his videos, so I'm going to side with him. But anyways, guys, we're hitting about an hour and 15, so I'm going to take off. I wanted to just jump on today just because everything's back. I wanted to let everybody know that I am back, and we will be continuing as usual from here on out. And make sure you join me on Friday. We'll be back in the bar having a drink for the next live stream, and I will have a string of videos coming out this week that I've been planning on making but haven't had the opportunity to do. So be on the lookout for those. And in the meantime, guys, continue to pack your damn bags before it's too late. Love you all. See you in the next video. Peace out.